What's up, everybody? Giancarlo here with Bad Beats, and today I wanted to bring you the deck profile slash deck explanation, whatever you want to call it, for my King Piccolo deck I played in the Supah Playaz 1K. Now, before I didn't top. Okay, I got 11th place. Top cut was top 8. Before you guys roast me about why you doing a deck profile for an event you didn't even top, I know I've had a lot of people ask me about my list, and so I just wanted to make a video kind of explaining my choices. Now. I think I played a lot of good games. It was a really fun tournament. Shout out to Supah Playaz 1K. If they ever do one of these again, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to enter. It was just a good event. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about the event. I'll go over my matches a little bit. So round 1, I played against Brian Samuel, and obviously he's really good. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. Pretty much from the early game, starting from like turns 2 to 3, it's very obvious how like good of a player he is, just in his sequencing, his defensive play, his choices, when to take life, when to defend, when to attack. It just to me, everything for him seemed like it clicked. It was just very obvious that he was playing perfect. He was playing Beerus. He was playing the red Beerus, I think from set 9. He was playing a red-blue version with a little bit of yellow splash. I thought it was a really cool deck. We only got to finish game 1. Game 1 was like 45 minutes or some shit. It was crazy long. It was so long that I actually thought when I lost game 1, I thought I lost the whole set because I'm not lying, bro. I was stressed out. Like that game was really hard for me to play, and it was up until like the last turn. It was so close, but then the last turn he just kind of overtook it. And he played phenomenal. Of course, like I said, of course he's gonna play really well. There was definitely a mistake I made that caused me to lose. So I swung with my Evil Dictator, right? At this point, he was at 2 life. I swing with Evil Dictator. He doesn't negate. I got Tunnel Vision. I got Bloodthirsty. I said, okay, knowing for a fact that he plays Cooler, the Arrival Cooler, he plays the Arrival Majin Buu, knowing for a fact that he plays all these cards, I combo out my whole hand on to the King Piccolo, and he plays Double Cooler, Majin Buu Hercule, which negs it 30k total and kills it. I did not have a King Piccolo, or no, I didn't have the Piccolo Jr. in life to summon. So that was just my mistake. Knowing he played those cards, I got a little Bloodthirst, I got a little Tunnel Vision, and I didn't like think about the plays he could have made. So again, you have to recognize when you make a mistake. People don't want to admit they make mistakes, but in order to become a better player, you have to recognize and say, hey, no, it was my fault I lost. And then game 2 just ended in time because he had more wins. He was awarded the game. Now, I can't be mad about that. He played game 1 better than I did. Had we had infinite time to play a best 2 out of 3, would I have won? I can't confidently say that I would have because, again, he was playing better than me the entire game. So, that's just something I have to recognize as a player. If I want to get better, I have to recognize when I make mistakes. So, but anyway, yeah, shout out to him. Great game. Game 2 was against Garlic Jr. Usually when you win game 1, when you lose round 1 of a tournament, round 2 and round 3 are generally pretty easy. No offense to anybody who I played. It's just like, people who lose round 1 of a tournament, a lot of the times they're just not the best of players. I'm really not trying to talk shit, but this is just a general thing that happens in every tournament. Anytime I've ever lost round 1 in a tournament, I usually kind of just sweep the next 3 rounds pretty easily. So, I played against Garlic Jr. That was a quick 2-0. There's not much to say about that matchup, I don't think. I just kind of won. He can't really kill you. His deck's not fast enough to kill you, in my opinion, and your deck is fast enough to kill him, so that's fine. Bulma, I played Bulma next round. That dude was really cool. That was actually a pretty difficult game. Even though I did 2-0 him, I had to work for it really hard. Bulma's obviously a really defensive deck, and there was a lot of points in game 2 where I thought I was just going to lose, but I ended up just kind of accumulating too much value over the course of the game. Bulma is really hard to outvalue because not only does the leader draw 2, but the battle cards are really, really good. So he was playing the Gogeta version, the red Gogeta one, so it's hard to outvalue something like a red Gogeta 5-drop or a Vegeta exploiting weakness. Or even he was playing Jiren Unison, and I absolutely love Jiren Unison. I think it's one of the best Unisons in the game. Even back all the way in back set 10 when I was playing Yamcha, I loved Jiren Unison. So that was a really good game. Shout out to him. Round 4 was Mecha Frieza. I think this deck destroys Mecha Frieza, honestly. Now I'll get into round 5 here in a second, but it was a quick 2-0. It wasn't hard. Again, no offense to this guy, but I absolutely, because you play the Unison, the Piccolo Junior Unison, any of their lower type battle cards are too they're too squishy. So stuff like Chappelle always dies. You can even, if you aggressively bring out Drum, you neg Warcry and you neg Bergamo 10k so that they can't even negate your attacks effectively. And then you just, if they like you bring out Drum, you neg Warcry 10k, you attack with your leader, or some sequence of events happens, you attack. If they negate that attack, you just kill their Warcry. So I think that deck's a little too squishy to deal with like the onslaught that King Piccolo can present. Now, I lost game 5 to Mecha, right? It's so funny that I say that. Now, this was like against Figs. Again, shout out him. I thought it was a great game. We did lose in time, but again, I can't be frustrated with that because of how well he played the game. Game 1 was, I won game 1. I just attacked a lot. I don't think he had enough cards to mitigate the aggression. Game 2, I made a decision very similar to game 1 to round 1, where I got a little too bloodthirsty. So there was a point in the game where he was at 3 life. I attacked with something and he did not Nimbus. So in my head, I'm like, okay, no Nimbus means I can win the game. And if I can push, I got bloodthirsty. That was it, right? So because I had tunnel vision, I saw the win right in front of me. I was a little bit too aggressive with my comboing, and he was able to mitigate the aggression better than I thought he would have been able to. So I ended up attacking with like a full board of stuff. He ended up defending really well. And then I lost by 10k combo on the crackback. So and that sucked, right? I mean, if I had been a little bit, if I had played it a little bit smarter, a little bit smoother, I had kept more of my resources in my hand, I probably would have been able to out combo the double strike on the crackback and been able to win the game that way. So it all can't. I remember. So I side in. I'll get into the whole deck, but I side in this KO Ken Son Goku against Mecha mainly for the slug. The Super Namekian is a card that punishes King Piccolo really hard. So I side in this. However, there was a point where he had 3 creatures on board. He had Slug, Bergamo, and Basil. I could have just tapped 3. I was at 4 or 5 energy. I could have tapped 3, summoned this, cleared Basil, cleared Bergamo, attacked everything in the lead and passed, and just kept a fat hand. But I decided to just go ahead and attack. And then because he had so many attackers on the crackback because I didn't clear them, that's how he won. So I could have just played this, attacked with everything on board, defended. But again, because I just got a little bloodthirsty. I got tunnel vision. I wanted to win. I was too aggressive with my combo. And then game 3 again ended in time. So that sucks, right? Because he had a higher life total, he was awarded the game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of that rule. I was in the moment, I was very frustrated. However, looking back on it, like I said, it was very clear that he had just played better than me. Game 2, he played phenomenally. Game 2, game 1, he played well as well. I just kind of had what I needed to have to win. And then, I mean, there's no guarantee I would have won game 3 had we had enough time. Again, because he was such a good player. So I don't know. Again, no, I didn't. I did not officially lose any matches, but I went X2, but I cannot make excuses for myself. I could choose to be salty and angry about how I lost, or I could recognize that I was not playing. I wasn't playing good enough to win. That's really the only way I can put it. There were several mistakes that I made in my gameplay that snowballed into me losing. And if I was playing better, maybe I would not have made those mistakes. So those are just things that we have to recognize as players in order to grow. If my threshold is here, if I make excuses, I'll never break past my threshold. I really wish I had recorded the games so I could have seen exactly where I was making mistakes, and then I could have mentally made that note. Next time, don't make that mistake. So anyway, yeah, great event. That's my report. Let's get into the actual deck. I'm going to start with the promos. These are the biggest points. Guys, if you don't have promos, you can still play the deck. No, it's not as good. Obviously, promos exist for a reason, to increase the level of the deck. But you can just cut these. My advice, easily, I play 52 cards. Cut these 5 cards. Add an additional 2 copies of Attack of the Demon Clan. That's 4 copies. Add 1 more 4-drop. That's 50 cards. Boom, you have your budget version of this deck. Maybe swap your secret rare because that's not really budget either. But overall, if you cut you cut the two promos in the secret rare. This whole deck is like roughly $100. Maybe this card and this card are gonna drop price soon, but this whole deck is relatively cheap. If you cut the secret rare and the promos, these SRs are like $3. Like these are super cheap. So the whole deck is very accessible to play for budget players. It's still pretty good. No, it's not as good, but it's still pretty good. So anyway, the first promo is Steps to Revival. This card is matchup dependent. If I'm playing against an aggro deck, I'm gonna charge this because his activate main effect isn't amazing. In an aggro matchup, it's nice to have one in your back pocket, but his combo auto, you're not gonna deal damage to yourself against an aggro deck. Scion, however, is absolutely nuts. He's a 0-mana negate when you have a Unison out. And then he's a 20k double strike blocker, so you can choose to be aggressive or defensive with him. The fact that he's just a 0-mana negate is amazing. He's what protects your Unison. I would not play my Unison on turn 2 and leave it at 3 markers against most decks in the meta right now because it's too easy to kill. However, because of something like Scion, where I can just negate a double strike or a single strike that would kill my Unison, I can very easily just plop it down and it not die. So one Champa, yeah, we play a bunch of big attackers, right? This guy can be a 40k, this guy can be a 35, 25, 40. You play one Champa because you throw your Champa on a tambourine and it's GG. Now, Piccolo super combo, this is the best super combo to play with this deck. You can search it with your 1-drop, you can search it with your 4-drop, you can put it in your life with your leader. It has the most synergy. Now, we play 3 and we play 1 Whis. Whis is one of my favorite cards. I think it's a super underrated super combo. It has so much synergy with so much stuff. There's 2 main reasons we play it. Number 1 is if you don't know what it does, right? When you combo with it, it's a 0-mana 10k. You can combo with it from full life. Doesn't matter how much life you have. So starting from turn 1, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and neg it 10k for the turn. So 2 cards, right? One is Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. BMS hurts this deck very heavily. Everything you play for free is 15k. We don't want to neg 2 every turn, so we just snipe the Whis. We just snipe BMS with the Whis. Number 2 card is Lord Slug, Evil Invader, the 1-drop that summons Super Namekian. Again, Super Namekian is very good against this deck in particular because you do not draw cards with your leader. Super Namekian says you can't add cards from your deck to your hand except by leader skill. Now, our leader doesn't actually draw cards. We rely on our battle cards and our Unison to give us pluses. So we rely on Piano, Symbol, and Unison to maintain our hand size. When you cut off those resources, this deck becomes a lot worse. So we need to have backup plans to kill the Slug. Now, honestly, you can attack the Slug very effectively, so it's not like Slug is really surviving every single game. You can just drop an Evil Dictator and then swing on the Slug twice. It's probably going to die, I'm not going to lie, but you want to give yourself an avenue to clear it, you know what I mean? The new ruler, you can get away with playing 2 of this. I always charge this early game if I can, simply because you can just search it. If you don't, this 4-drop searches any 4-drop or less Namekian or Demon Clan from your deck. So you can search the first steps. You can search Scion. You can search a super combo. You can search new ruler. I can just add a 0-mana double strike from my deck to my hand whenever I want. I don't need to draw this card. So if I see it early game, I charge it, and then I want to keep 1 in my back pocket for later in the game. Yeah, 3 Yamcha, it's great. Yamcha's a really good counterplay. It attacks really well because it's a 15k, and it's really good against Universe 9 Assemble because you just kill whatever they bring out with Universe 9 Assemble. It's a great card. Against stuff like Red Broly, it's not horrible because you can snipe the Ba and the 1-drop promo. So if you establish your Unison and they play 1-drop promo, once they summon the Ba, you can Yamcha, and it's fine. It's not amazing. Red Broly is a really hard matchup in general. It's just a great card. Against Dark Broly, it's pretty useless, right? Because they're already 30k. They're going to attack you for 15k. You're still going to have to out-combo them. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. Violent Raise is great. We know Violent Raise. And then again, the rest of the deck, you pretty much should just know at this point. If you've watched any of my other King Piccolo videos, you know what the rest of the deck does. This is the best secret rare right now for any deck that doesn't have a secret rare. If you can run Celzino, you're going to run Celzino. If you can run Baby Hatch, you're going to run Baby Hatch. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any deck that would choose any other secret rare except for this card, any secret rare over this card. Now, I'm probably just forgetting about some theme specific SCR. Maybe you really like Boonimba, but if you don't have access to Celzino or Baby Hatch, you're probably gonna play this guy. This dude, this Kai was all over the tournament. So many decks played it. I had it played on me like 4 or 5 times. I played it on people several times. It's a great card. I only play one Overwhelm. That right there is actually just a mistake. I think I Overwhelmed once the entire tournament. I just never drew it. So either I would suggest playing a second copy of Fighting Against Fate, but I'll be honest, I really want to main deck one Secret Identity Mass Saiyan. Secret Identity is really good. I think I want to main deck one copy. One Fighting Against Fate, one Secret Identity, and you just pick and choose which is better in which scenario. So that's a minor adjustment I'm going to make on the deck. I already explained Whis. We play the best unison in the game, right? So again, watch some of my, if you don't know what a lot of this stuff does, watch some of my other King Piccolo videos. We have plenty on the channel. They should help you understand the deck a little better. If you go to our Patreon, there is a free article up right now that is a matchup guide. I think I've covered every deck in the meta that I could think of at the time. I might need, it's a little bit old. It's probably 3 weeks old at this point, so I actually need to update it a little bit, but it gives my thoughts on general matchups. So anyway, that's the main deck. Into the side deck, we play 4 Sacrifice. Only reason, so first of all, Sacrifice is a green card. It only requires your leader to be a Namekian, though. So it's a 0-mana negate. You just take a life instead of paying the cost. Number one reason we play this is Reboot Gohan. We start at 6 life. Reboot Gohan is a very, very, very difficult matchup. They can kill you so quickly. Because we start at 6 life, we don't have the luxury that other decks have, where it's like, the joke is 2 negates and you win, right? No, you need multiple negates against Reboot Gohan because they can just attack you with their little 1-drop double strikes early game, put you to 3 life, and then they have 3 triple strikes coming at you. And so we need as many negates in our hand as possible, and Sacrifice definitely helps with that. This card I sided in so much, I really just part of me wants to main deck it, but part of me knows I shouldn't. His neg 2 kills something with Barrier. That's pretty much for the Slug Super Namekian. You can also side this in against Invoker because it kills Vegeta. And I did that against Sublet in our best of 3 we have on the channel. So Shu, this is for the Red Broly BR deck. It hits the 1-drop. So if you go first, you charge 1 energy, you pass. When they go Planet Vampa, you just play Shu. And then they ended up taking a life for no reason. And they don't get to establish their board on turn 1. The longer the game goes out, the less they're going to play the 1-drop. But you just want to see Shu in the early game. If you can double Shu, you might have a chance of winning that matchup. Again, it's just really hard. Corrin's Tower Secret Medicine. Mainly this is for anything that's going to side deck BMS. This card's not that good, but it kills BMS, and that's what you want it for. It's pretty good. I also like it against Mecha Frieza because it kills Poutine as well. It kills Poutine because it ignores Barrier, and it's Mecha Frieza either mains or sides BMS because they can just search it with Planet Vegeta. So it's nice to have this resource. And then Bardock the Resolute. This card is actually amazing, but we don't have anything that inherently deals damage by an effect in our deck. This is for when your opponent plays a deck that takes its own life. So that's Mecha Frieza, Red Broly, Dark Broly. Am I forgetting? I guess Majin Vegeta if you ever play against that. Any leader that just takes its own life inherently by its own skills, you just side this in because it's such a great card. There's so many decks that take their own life at this point. I feel like you could just main deck this guy with no real repercussion. But the fact that you can't combo with it makes me really hesitant. If you could combo with it, I'd probably be main decking 1. Because it's a 0-mana plus 0. If you draw it, you can't charge it. You can't combo with it. It's going to be a dead card in your hand the whole game. So I'm not too keen on mainboarding this card, just in case you play against something like a Soul Striker where you're never going to be able to summon it. There's probably other examples I'm just forgetting, but that is what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the deck. That was my tournament report. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I love this deck so much. I definitely think this deck can top. Again, I just didn't play as well as I could have, and that's the unfortunate reality of card games sometimes. So, If you guys got any questions about this deck, just let me know. I'll be sure to answer them in the comments. You can PM me if you want. Check out if you want to see gameplay of it. We have multiple best of threes. I have versus Sin Shenron and versus Invoker with this deck. So check that out, man. Other than that, leave a comment, leave any criticism, whatever you want to say. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good one.